Freak on the blue side.
Hey, thank you very much. I am here with Xpecial, Victorious Xpecial, #1 team right now in North America. You've been #1 before, a couple years ago. You've brought Team Liquid up to #1. How's this feel?
I think this is the most the team has felt as a team. We're just playing as a team, we're working as a team, and we are playing really well. Obviously, there's still ways to improve, but I think this is the best we've looked, and we still have ways to improve.
All right, so third place last split, first place here. You talked about improvements. What is it that's kind of pushed you guys over the edge to be just that extra step better here in the summer split?
It's definitely Worlds. We're all extremely motivated, and it's really showing. We all play extremely well. And we play a lot of the solo queue, a lot of scrims, and we're playing better than we've ever played before. And this is the first time where I feel like first place in NA and hopefully do well at Worlds. It's really in our grasp.
So I got to ask you then, coming in at the beginning of the year, if I told you that you're going to be the first place seed coming into summer, that Team Liquid would be the #1 team in North America by the end of the year, would you believe that, or does this somewhat surpass your expectations?
I would have been like, oh, finally. I mean, look at our roster. We have top players in each position. We have a strong support staff. We work well together now. And if you had told me this from the very beginning, I'd be like, all right, it's expected. And for us to finally hit this point, I think it's a relief. I mean, it's still regular season, so we have to work even harder and make sure we secure our spot at playoffs and just do really well in Madison Square Garden. And we're really excited for that.
All right, well, one last question for you then. You said, you know, we got to work hard, we got to make sure this happens. We've seen a lot of teams fall off at the very end. CLG every time in playoffs drops out. Gravity last 2 weeks falling off. What are you going to do to keep Team Liquid at this level so you don't have that late season collapse we've seen so many other teams have?
I don't really think that's our issue as like Curse and Team Liquid. It's just we've always performed well in playoffs, and I think the big attribution to that is just how motivated we get when it comes to crunch time. We just I guess procrastinators, and we just cram in our homework and we just play well. I mean, this is where it matters the most, and we put all our eggs in this basket just to make sure that playoffs is where we really shine.
All right, Xpecial, thank you very much. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on first place heading into the playoffs. We got more to talk about, so we're going to throw it over to the analyst desk.
Thank you, Freak. And yes, again, congratulations to Team Liquid on securing that first round playoff bye, first place in the regular season of the NA/LCS, something that's long awaited for by that organization after a third place showing last split. You know, that's just such a huge thing for this organization. One, I want to pause and talk about that for these guys on this roster, some of which who have been around for such a long time. You know, achieving this level of play is pretty phenomenal.
I think we take it back even a little bit further than that, because Liquid finished 6th, barely making playoffs last split, and then they made a playoff run. They're first place now coming into playoffs. They don't have to worry about that. They get more time, and they seem to keep talking about they have a lot of prep coming their way. Teams need to prepare for them, and they're going to throw a lot of different comps at people in these BO5s. So going into playoffs, Team Liquid seem to have a lot of confidence, especially with this first place finish.
They deserve so much credit for the work that they put in to achieve first place. Remember when they first brought Piglet over, the problems that they had to overcome, integrating him with the rest of the team. So much work with all the analysts that they brought on as well. They've just put in a lot of, not just the players, but the organization, and all of them have buckled down, and they really deserve this first place spot.
All right, now if we do jump into the game just a little bit, you know, we saw the Kalista finally get to be played just as it's been banned a lot recently, and Piglet is a phenomenal player on that champion specifically. The Nidalee pick up there for Dominate with a very impressive scoreline, rivaling that of Rush, one might say, on that champion.
I'm telling you, this Nidalee right now is out of control.
You had to complain about how weak Runeglaive was. They went and buffed it, Kobe.
I was talking for like 2 weeks now. Nidalee is just, there's so much early game pressure. It's really, really difficult to give up. Not only that, but they comboed it with Victor in the mid lane, who's already a really strong mid lane bully. And Phoenix also performed extremely well. Pretty much everybody on the team fulfilling their positions. So.
Very true. We saw some clutch hooks by Xpecial coming out of the TF ultimate. As you mentioned, Victor just
perfect timing on that TF ultimate hook, by the way.
Yeah.
Flabelter had Zhonya's. He was looking for the Messiah play, but Xpecial, he gave him no time to pull it off.
Right, and then of course, as you mentioned, the Victor bodying Pobelter in the mid lane. You know, that's got to be a concern. Phoenix is looking more and more impressive. I know you're a big fan. You mentioned earlier today his Azir, obviously still fantastic, has to be a concern for teams when they're going up against this Team Liquid. So now as we look ahead, you know, first first seed into the playoffs. Is this Team Liquid team, going to be the ones that take it?
Well, they play the winner of Gravity versus TSM, and Phoenix is just looking stronger and stronger. He's the guy that last split, everybody's saying he's so good in scrims, but he needs to show up. And now we're seeing the person that everybody was talking about. So I feel like this Phoenix is definitely top 1 or 2 mid lane in NA at the moment.
That's such a ridiculous question to ask. Have you been watching the North American LCS the last couple of weeks, Dash?
I have.
The top teams are...
Nobody knows.
That's why I'm asking the question, Kobe.
I've cast back-to-back 50-plus minute games here where 8 dragons have been taken. I don't know.
So is it not a fair question?
It's okay.
Is
it's
it not a fair question, Kobe?
Difficult question.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. I'm just asking the question, Kobe. You don't have to have the answer. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Regardless, though, congratulations to Team Liquid on securing that #1 spot. CLG should still, I think, be very happy with a second-place finish at the end of a summer split here, especially coming out the back end of that slump.
Well, that's the highest that CLG has ever finished a split, ever. They've always finished in third. They've did it twice, not always, but they've done it twice, but they've never been higher than that. So a second-place finish is good. Also, you play the winner of TIP versus Dig. I'd probably want that more than the winner of Gravity versus TSM, personally.
All right, well, we're talking about the top 2 in the standings. We might as well take a look